What's going on, guys? So today I will be doing a review and installation video on this. So this is a Seicane radio, S-E-I-C-A-N-E model radio, and it's the model number is S6936. Now this specific one is GPS navigation, backup camera. It's got a screen mirroring function, so you can see everything on your phone and navigate through the touchscreen as if it is your phone. So I will be putting my backup camera setup through this one. Also has some car diagnostic features, and you can monitor some of the engine's vitals and things like that through an app that's on it. And I just happen to have the diagnostic tool, cheap diagnostic tool that I will be showing how to use. I'm going to test out the functionality of all that stuff later in the video, and you can click on the links that are here on the left side of the video, and you can jump to that portion of the video, whatever portion of the video, unboxing, all that stuff that you want. But first, before I get into the installation and the removal of my old one, I do want to mention that there is a link in the description and a coupon code for 5% off. So if you visit the company's website through the link in the description and you also use the coupon code, then you can get 5% off anything that they have on their website, which is they have blind spot monitoring detection, like off-road lighting. It looks like off-road lighting, and then like Bluetooth activated lighting for undercarriage, backup cameras, monitors, headrest monitors, other obviously radios, because I'm doing a radio installation video, DVD players, roof-mounted DVD players. This vehicle that I'll be installing this in is a 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser, and installing in most Toyota vehicles is gonna be about the same. Once you get the trim piece off, the radio installation portion is pretty much the same through all the other Toyota models that I've worked on. It uses the factory Toyota stereo bracket, and the plugs for it plug into an adapter. They send an adapter. You don't have to do any of the rewiring or anything. You just plug it straight in. But I'm going to jump to the unboxing portion of the video right now and just go through that. This is not how the box comes in the mail. It comes inside of another box. It's the same size as this one, almost exactly. Does not say anything about there being a car radio inside whenever you get it. It's just a plain brown box with labeling and things on it. So if you're worried about your neighbors possibly taking your car radio that you ordered in the mail, you don't have to worry about that. Just it comes in a plain brown box. So this is the box that it comes in. I've already opened it up just to familiarize myself with the contents of it, and gone through the manual just to get myself used to the manual. But so this is Android 7.1 user manual, and then this one it goes over just basic stuff, how to configure it, how to do screen mirroring setup. There's regular Bluetooth pairing, and then so this Torque app I've used for years on a phone with a Bluetooth adapter that I have that plugs into your onboard diagnostics port, your OBD2 port. And this says that this can connect to it directly instead of going through your phone. So I'm going to try that out. I'll be trying that out later in the video as well, and putting up a few gauges on the Torque dashboard that will be on the screen. So hopefully it comes with Torque pre-installed, so I don't have to download that and everything. So DVR, if you have a camera, I'm going to be connecting my camera to it, and I'm also going to test out the navigation later in the video just to see how it works compared to how it works natively on my phone. So DAB, I'm not sure what the DAB is. And then here you can adjust brightness level, wallpaper. You can set wallpaper. You can set where's the somewhere in here it showed. So it shows you how to change the car logo. So if you have an Acura, if you have an Audi, whatever or if you just want to say Android whenever you turn on your car, you can also choose a custom picture. You can have a picture of your family, a picture of your car. I'm going to try to put an FJ Cruiser logo up on mine just to have it on the screen. So, and then how to set steering wheel keys, how to use those to control the vehicle. I don't have any steering wheel control buttons on my FJ Cruiser, so I will not be covering that in this portion of the video. You have warranty card, so 1-year warranty for quality related issues. So it comes with the warranty card, so from the date of the purchase, and then what you want to do with that. And I've read that they have, when I looked into the different people that have had issues with the company, the company handled their problems fairly well. so they still seemed happy. And going over the other contents, the rest of it's just going to be wires and things like that came in this kit. So this is a GPS connector, and there's a on the back of the radio there is a connector that's just like this that you connect the GPS to, and it also has a little Wi-Fi antenna that's on the back. And then getting into this connector, so you have a few USB connectors, and I couldn't find much explanation on what these are for, but you have the 3G Wi-Fi, and then this one just says USB. So different types of connectors on the end, but they're both for USB connectors. And this is just a typical adapter. You see the USB to USB. Is it the micro or mini? I forget which one this is called, but the USB adapter to USB. And then pulling the radio out. Got some other connectors here. So this is one of the first radios that I've seen that has come with Toyota adapters. So these adapters plug straight into the Toyota factory harness. You don't have to do any cutting, soldering, connecting wires together with butt connectors or anything like that, which it just makes the installation far easier and far faster. So this one plugs into the back of the radio, and these plug into the factory wire harness. Then you have these other wires here that don't go to anything. So blue wire on factory radio installation is usually for automatic antennas, and also for turning on a subwoofer if you have a separate sub with, or you have an amplifier with subwoofers attached to it. And this just says back car. I'm not sure what that's for. It's black stripe on an orange wire, black stripe. And then this is pink. This says brake control, brake CTL. I don't know. So this for the steering wheel control, but I don't have steering wheel controls, so I will not be using this. But I believe that is what that's for. And then I don't know what this is. CCD AVN. So I don't know, closed circuit DVR, audio video in. I'm not sure, but it just says AVN. So we'll have to do a little bit more reading to figure out what that's about. And then you have, these are just, there wasn't any explanation that came with these. You have auxiliary right, auxiliary left. I don't know if that's in or out. TV, IR, which IR is usually infrared. I'm not sure exactly though, and that doesn't come with any kind of connector on the end. And then you have DRV in. Oh, I think I read that already. Video in. So these two, DRV in and then video in. I'm not sure what these are, unless they're two different. I mean, this yellow is typically a video, but I don't know if it's for the backup camera. I'm about to find out. Hopefully that's in the book. I'll try to read through the book a little bit more. And then these say video out. So I would imagine that you can have two separate monitor outputs, and then also front out. So audio out, so for extra speakers. Rear out, so rear left, rear right, front left, front right. And then for subwoofer, so I don't know. Amp connector, antenna connector. And then microphone. So if you already have a radio that's in your car that you have the microphone that you use for Bluetooth calls, and you should be able to use that one with this. I'm going to test it out. I have a Sony radio that's in right now that I replaced my stock radio with about a year ago. So you plug this into the back of the radio, and then you plug your microphone in here. So, and it is just a regular quarter-inch, not quarter-inch. It's a regular 1/8" input. So you can use that regular microphone. Looks like. Then you have the actual radio. I'm just going to go over this, comparing it to the factory FJ Cruiser radio. So I'm just going to put this, which ends up. Okay. So it's like that. And that's like, I'm gonna put the factory one on the bottom, because I can have the factory one upside down, and then I'll put this one upside down on top of it. So these are both the same width. You can see I've got this one fitting inside the brackets. These two brackets, they both extend up a little bit, and it looks like I'm gonna have to take these off and bolt them into the side of this, to these screw holes that are already there. Hopefully that all lines up perfectly. But just looking at the dimensions of it, let me turn it sideways. They have this little stopper here at the front of the radio. This one's my old one. It's a little bit shorter than the new one, but I mean, still there's plenty of room behind the radio, so it should work fine. It should go in fine. And then infrared microphone. It has its own built-in microphone actually, so you don't have to use the mic cable, I would imagine. I'm going to try it with and without this connector. But the dimensions are pretty close. Look at the height of it. It's the same as a Toyota stock radio. So I'm going to unbolt these and then just put them on the side of here. Make sure it all connects perfectly. I'm just going to undo the left side, put it on the left side of this, and then compare the right side of the factory radio to the left side of this one. Just want to go over a really quick thing that I just noticed. I've been trying to put this bracket on. So the bracket came off of this radio. This is a Toyota factory radio, and as it sits, there's these little indentions that are in the bracket, here, here, and here. And there's holes in the radio there, and there, to allow you to line up the bracket whenever you put it in place, so you can screw the screws in. On this one, it has most of the indentions. The one that it doesn't have is this one here that's under this finger. So if you look, that indentation is not there. So obviously you could try to drill in there if you want to. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my clamp, and I'm just going to clamp this down until this dent is completely gone, and hopefully flush or broken off. But the other two line up. So this one and this one line up. It's just that one there that does not line up, and I would imagine the other side is probably the same way. The right side of the radio, because it has that indentation there. And let's look at this one. Yeah, so this one doesn't have that same indentation on that side. So that's one thing I'm going to have to do, is if you have a grinder, you can grind this down. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to clamp this down until that's fully flush. And just using my basic C-clamp, I was able to tighten this down completely to where it smushed that down like crazy. Yeah, so that sits there. So these factory screws from the Toyota, those screw in fine, and all of them line up. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. They went up. Now, I got those nice and snug, and what I'm going to do is compare this radio. This is upside down. Yeah. This radio upside down. This one upside down. See if they line up. That looks pretty close from the way I lined it up before. So this little stopper that they have, a little plastic stopper, so that lines up with the back of that. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull this bracket off and clamp that down just to get that to where it bolts into this side, and then that'll be it for this part of the unboxing. And I just used a basic 4-inch clamp. Just clamped it down. It didn't take much force at all. Just what you can do by hand with this 3-inch handle that comes off the side of it. And just like that, a little bit of brute force, brute strength. I can't even clamped it down so hard I can't even unclamp it. Oh, there we go. And this is flat. You can grind it down if you want to, but this works fine. Doesn't tweak the metal at all. Yeah, and then goes right in, just like that. And it's on. And this you can tighten up. I loosened that earlier, just playing with it. You can adjust the angle of it. That's fine. And I do want to mention this. Take these screws out before installing. I'm pretty sure those hold the CD tray in place. And then you have a little guide on top that says what each one of these connectors, what they go to. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to take these screws out, because obviously you can't take these screws out whenever the radio is installed. So, and take this one out, and take this one out. And you have no need for these. There's no reason to keep them. So you don't want to keep them in there if they hold the CD tray in place. So it even says take the screw out before installing. Now let's go install this. So let's turn this on. So it took about 10 seconds to power on. Okay, now since it is getting dark outside, I want to use this to my advantage. Now, what I've done right now is I've just played around with the they call it the element, and it's the little lights that are around the screen on the display. So I've made them the same color as my lights that are around my dials and little indicator lights and everything that lights up whenever you turn your parking lights or your driving lights on. So right now it's the color that matches everything else. I want to make it rainbow. Make it where it fades in through everything, so it fades into blue, to purple, red, yellow, green, so it's fading into everything. Make it this bright blue color, to make it an almost white color. So say I want to go into what's called the factory settings, right? And it's their settings that they have. You can go in and you can adjust certain things. Where's that at? So factory settings, and the code that they have in the book is 126. So I just type 126. Done. Okay. And now I'm in the factory settings, and you can change certain things. You can adjust the individual volumes of, say like TV, DVD, system volume, radio, Bluetooth. Radio, you can choose your country so that the preset frequencies on the radio they more match up with the country that you're in. And then changing the car logo. See, I have a picture of the FJ Cruiser in Kona, just like overlooking Kona. So I use that as the background on the wallpaper background, just because it's the only picture that I've loaded onto this unit right now. And I also have it as the boot up logo, so just to change that, you can change it to custom, or you can choose like green Android icon, Android animation. If you can find another icon animation thing, then you can probably use that, because there is a way to select an animation as your boot up logo. And then over on the other tab of this, you can turn on and off your front camera, which I tried playing around with that, and I couldn't get this front camera option to work. And I emailed them, and they said, oh, well, you have to use a USB camera. I'm like, well, okay, well, I don't have a USB camera. They said you could buy one of theirs, and you can use that. But you can have it switch to the front camera after reverse, which I was trying to enable on mine, and I found another way to do that. So I'm probably not going to install their USB front camera. But you can just go through some other like amp volume things and just change that. But anyway, so that's it with the factory settings. While that's rebooting, what I'm going to do is, this is my OBD scanner, onboard diagnostic scanner, and it plugs into vehicles that are 96 model year and newer. And I'm going to plug it into this. It's one that I bought before. It didn't come with the radio. So you can watch and you can see what's going on in your engine. Now, some of the cheaper devices, this one is a cheaper device, but I read a lot of reviews on it whenever I bought it. Some of the complaints have been that it'll shut off your car. So people are driving around with this device plugged in and their car will shut off. So kind of want to read a lot of reviews on these before you buy them. But I'm just going to go into this app. It's called a Torque app, and it's here. It's also available for phones. I mean, obviously this is Android. My phone is Android. So I'm at the default screen of the car. I'm just going to go into fault codes. So I'm at the default screen of the Torque app, and I'm just going to go into real-time information. If you have a check engine light, that you can go into fault codes, but I don't have any fault codes, so there's no point in me to go into that. So now you have the OBD, the diagnostic. It's running. It's showing like, hey, spark test complete, blah blah blah, all this stuff. But if you want to see what's going on, if you have a race car and you want to see lap times, and there's your lap times. But it'll display your speed. If you're like me, I've got oversized tires, and my speed isn't very. It's not going to be very accurate with this, so I have to use a GPS to see what my accurate speed is. So I mean, that's what I've been using to get my speed from, because the oversized tire shows off my my speedometer. But this speed will show the same thing that's shown on my speedometer, so this isn't any different. But revs. So it's basically just a bunch of sensors and sensor data. You can look at O2 sensor voltage and whatever else you need to do for car diagnostic, but you would only be diagnosing the car that you have it plugged into, unless you park close enough to another car and you plug in the Bluetooth diagnostic scanner to it. Then this would be reading the information on the other car. I think my only complaint with this radio is that there's not a back arrow on it for me to go back to the previous. I've had to drag down the top panel, and I can't do that now. Anyway, you just press menu and it goes back to the home screen, but you can't go back to the previous screen or whatever it is you were working. So it's just that back arrow pops up when you're on the main screen. But right now I still have that app running. Wrong one. Right now I still have the app running, so I'm just going to go in and close that. Close, and then there's no point. I still have the settings open. So that's that. So that's connected. That was easy to pair. You just pair it like you would any other Bluetooth device. The Torque, not the Torque. The Bluetooth diagnostic scanner. You would just pair it just like you would any other diagnostic scanner. So linking this with my phone. Now I mentioned at the beginning of the video that there's a way for you to link this with your phone. And then moving down here to my switch ports. So I had this little USB switch port already. This does not come with the radio. I basically just took this little switch port and I hollowed it out so that the two USB dongles that come off of the back of the radio will sit in here. And I just took a little Dremel and so I hollowed the inside of that out, and then I shaved around the plastic, some of the little plastic that was on the actual plug of the USB. Like this one, you've got the white plastic. So I just kind of trimmed it down with my razor knife so that it sat in there snugly, and it is very snug. It's not held with any glue or anything. It's very, very snug, very compact, and you can't tell. And I can just plug my phone straight into it. So if I want to set my phone up to where it's interfaced with my radio, so you saw me just plug the USB in. So I plug that in, plug this USB into my phone. It's just my my basic charger cord, and then I'm clicking yes to transfer. I'm just going to go over to, I think it's Easy Connect. Where is that? Easy Connect. Now, Easy Connect recognizes that the Android is connected. If you have an iPhone and you plug it in, then I would imagine that it would automatically select that it was an iPhone that's connected. See, but now it's saying, hey, turn on your network connection. But right now, everything that I'm doing on my phone is showing up on the radio, and vice versa. Anything that I want to do on the radio, let me go back, go home. So now I'm at my home screen, and this is the home screen of my phone. So anything that I can see on my phone, I can also see on the radio, and I can navigate through it. Now it's small, and I can't get it to, when I'm at the home screen, I can't get it to turn sideways. That's the only real issue. If I could get this to go sideways, then it'd be a lot better. But I can go Chrome, I can go into YouTube, and I can watch the video. Pulling up the Pandora app, as you can see, I've got video on the screen, and I connected to Bluetooth separately. So I have the Bluetooth connected from my phone to the radio, so that the audio will transfer through the radio. And that's the only way to get video and audio. So the audio plays through, but it doesn't play through only because you have this connection going through. You have to connect it to the Bluetooth also. Now, I did skip a step in the instructions. I didn't go through. It said to go into the settings and do some extra stuff with your phone to allow a better connection. That might be why it's not connecting like it's supposed to, but it does still connect. So iPhone Wi-Fi, Android USB, or Android Wi-Fi. So you can only connect to it with Android or iPhone Wi-Fi or Android USB. just by plugging into it. And then it does the screen sharing thing. And then in order for me to view my front camera, I have to go into AVN. And this helps out immensely just with seeing in the front of the FJ, because the blind spots are horrible in this. So I've got that, and then I have to put it in reverse, and you see my reverse camera. So car going by, another car going by. So take it out of reverse and it goes back to my front camera. Now this isn't from the factory settings to jump to the front camera. So what I've had to do is I've had to use this AVN app, and the AVN shows it shows the camera that's audio video in. Or if you're using like a DVD player for video in, which this has a DVD player built in, so I don't know why you would do that. But if you want to connect your PlayStation or whatever you want to connect, you can connect it into that audio video in, given that you have the RCA plugs, the red, yellow, white plugs. You can't listen to sound while you have it on front camera. The way that I set it up, because I use the audio video in. If you use the front camera USB, which I did not use, then that will connect. DVR, you can do digital video recording if you have the USB front camera enabled. The navigation seems kind of basic. I mean, it's just a typical navigation thing. Whenever you go over the speed limit, I haven't figured out how to disable that yet. Whenever you go over the speed limit by 1 mile an hour, it flashes away from the map and it shows your speed and that you're speeding. So that's kind of frustrating if you're trying to follow a map to go somewhere. But that's more of an issue with the app and not the radio itself. If you click on Bluetooth and it brings up the phone option, you can call. So you can call wherever. I'm not going to dial in a phone number, but it's connected to my phone right now, so you can make phone calls, answer phone calls. The call clarity through the microphone is pretty good. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, check out my other videos. I've got videos more on the wiring on this and like how I set up everything. And those videos are down in the description. And again, I didn't think I would like this radio, but I actually kind of do. So check out their website, check out their stuff. It's really kind of fun to play around with. I like all the features that it has so far. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and God bless.